Okay, so obviously I had to split this up into two videos here. Like going forward, got the Ohm's law chart. So basically what this is a chart that has V, I, and R on it, and I and R at the bottom. Now what you do is you take your thumb, and if you are looking for V, pop your thumb right there, and then boom, you've got your answer. It's I times R. Now likewise, if you're looking for I, you're going to put your thumb over I, and then you've got V over R. And then if you come over here and put your thumb over R, because that's the one you're looking for, the resistance in ohms, you would have volts divided by current. So here's an example of Ohm's law. We've got our schematic diagram here. We've got 6 volts. Okay, we've got 150 ohms over here. And so what we're looking for is amps or current. Alright, so we put I over here, and when we're looking for I, that means we're looking for volts divided by resistance. So if we come back over here, we're going to put our volts, which is 6 volts, and we're dividing that by 150 ohms right here. And what we end up with is 0.04 amps. And we can just go ahead and convert that to 40 milliamps. So when you're doing milli, you're going to take the decimal and you're going to move it to the right 3 spaces. So what that is basically saying is the milli equals 10 to the third. So it's a scientific notation. So that's all I did there, and we'll learn about that. Those conversions. And we should know about those conversions if we took Introduction to Engineering Design. Alright, so we've got some circuit configuration here. In a simple circuit, you're going to have, like a resistor, a switch, and a power source. So 3 main things, well, also wire. But we have different types of circuits. We've got a series circuit and parallel circuits. So in a series circuit, all the components are connected end to end. There's only a single path for current to flow through. So if that path gets broken anywhere along here, that means the circuit is now dead. It's not going to let electrons flow. Now with the parallel circuit, it's different. Both ends of the components are connected together. So you can see here, these two are connected together, which is connected to that. So this whole entire section here is connected, and this whole section down here is connected. And these components are all in parallel. Okay, so all these components here could be light bulbs, and if one of them goes out, no problem, current can still flow through these other ones. Alright, now moving on to a dead guy named Kirchhoff. Okay, he's got a couple laws. Kirchhoff's voltage law is the sum of all voltage drops in a series circuit equals the total applied voltage. And also Kirchhoff's current law, which is the total current in a parallel circuit equals the sum of the individual branch currents. And I'm going to explain that here in a second. Okay, so a series circuit, this is just explaining that basically if the path is broken, then current stops flowing to all the components. And then, if I were doing this in the slide, this light would then go out. Alright, so using Kirchhoff's law here, Kirchhoff's voltage law, we've got a series circuit. Okay, it's got 12 volts battery, 12 volt battery. Okay, so a car battery. And what we have here is 220 ohms of resistance, 470 ohms of resistance, and then 1.2 kiloohms of resistance. They threw that one in there to hang us up. And what this says is basically all of these resistors added together will equal the total amount of resistance. And that's using Kirchhoff's voltage law, the drop in voltage, because every time a volt goes across one of these resistors, it drops in voltage because it's using those volts. So, moving forward with this example, total resistance is what we're going to solve for. We're also going to solve for the current flowing through each component and the voltage across each component. use Kirchhoff's voltage law. So current drop, or voltage drop, basically when this 12 volts comes around and hits this 220 ohm resistor, it's going to drop a certain amount of voltage right here. Then it's going to come to this 470 ohm resistor, and it's going to drop a little bit more than double the voltage right here on this resistor, and then it's going to come to this 1.2 kiloohm resistor, and it's going to drop the rest of the voltage. You're not going to really have that much voltage coming back around here. Now, this will always read 12 volts unless it's dying or dead, but you do have a certain amount of voltage dropping at each one of these resistors, and it's going to be a different amount. So it's not going to be like 4 volts here, 4 volts here, 4 volts here. So that's what we're going to be working out through this next thing. Okay, so we're going to work out the total amount of resistance first, and then our total amount of current running through this system, and then we can work out our voltage drops. All right, so Kirchhoff states that in a series, the resistance is just added together. So what we did here is we took 220 ohms plus 470 ohms plus 1.2 kiloohms, which is equal to 1200 ohms. So 1.2 kiloohms is equal to 1200 ohms, and so our total resistance is 1900 ohms, or 1.9 kilo ohms. You're going to have to do some converting here in a little bit, but I'm just going to do it for you, and then y'all have to do it on your own later. Okay, so now we know the total amount of resistance, we know the total amount of voltage, we can look at the total amount of current. So we're going to put our finger over the I, and then what that does is tells us that V divided by R, or voltage divided by resistance, will equal current. Okay, so we're going to do 12 volts, we're going to divide that by 1.89 kiloohms, and that's going to give us 6.3 milliamps. Now all the keelies, killas, millas, all that stuff, that matters. Okay, so don't think it doesn't matter. I'm working this with that knowledge in mind, and so are you. Now, moving on to our voltage across each component, or our voltage drops. Okay, we can use the total amount of current flowing through the system, because the same amount of current will be flowing through the system at all times unless the chain is broke in a series. And we can work out the voltage drops on each component. So let's go ahead and work out the first resistor, which is 220 ohms. So we know that 6.349 milliamps times 220 ohms will equal 1.397 volts. And you're saying, well, how is that possible? 6.349 times 220, that does not even remotely equal 1.397. Okay, well, you're right, it doesn't. But 0.006349 times 220 does equal that. Okay, so this is, again, where that comes into play. It's milliamps. All right, so just milliamps is 10 times the power of 3. So you have to move this decimal back 3 spaces. So 0.006349 amps times 220 is 1.397 volts. Okay, so you're going to do that down here also with the second resistor. Okay, so you've got 6.349 or 0.006349 amps times 470, and that gives you 2.984 volts. And then you're coming down here, and they just messed us all up because now they're going to be using milliamps and kiloohms. Okay, but just remember to do those conversions. All right, so we can do 0.06349 amps times 1,250 200 ohms. And that will give us 7.619 volts. And if we add all these together, it should pretty much equal 12 volts. Okay? It will get us really close. If not right on it. So this is them just adding it all up, kind of checking our work. And yes, indeed, it does get us to 12 volts. So that means we did our math correctly.